my name is Jessica Evans with Lovewood DC Real Estate, and today I am here to talk about home inspection red flags. So home inspections can be pretty anxiety-provoking no matter what. They almost always find issues with the house that you are in love with and want to purchase, and that can be difficult. My general rule of thumb with home inspection items is that if there's an issue, but the repair cost is relatively fixed and known, like you can diagnose the extent of the problem and know what it will cost to fix it, that is less of a concern. So things like the heating and cooling system is 20 years old and you know it's gonna have to be replaced. Well, you can get a few estimates, you can figure out what is that gonna cost to replace it. Once you replace it, that issue's gonna be solved. Things where it is difficult to assess the cost to fix it or difficult to understand the scope of the problem, those are things that I think are red flags. So one of the things in this category would be structural issues, and structural issues often present themselves in the form of cracks in foundation walls, not superficial drywall cracks, which are really common, but actual cracks in the basement walls or in the exterior foundation of the home. And this can be really challenging to predict what the cost is going to be to fix it, because it's hard to figure out what caused the issue, and often it's necessary to bring in a structural engineer. If it's an option to bring in a structural engineer to evaluate, I do recommend that, because sometimes issues that look really bad actually have pretty easy solutions. Or it can be in the $30,000 to $50,000 range to fix. So if you can bring in a professional, great. If you can't, if you need to make a decision, I don't know. I would avoid structural issues unless you know what it's going to cost to fix it. Next is water intrusion. So water intrusion comes in a few different forms, and a basement without a waterproofing system that has water intrusion, that is, in my opinion, a little bit less of a concern, because that is fixable with a basement waterproofing system. Old foundations, they were not built the way they are now, and it's not uncommon, and a waterproofing system has a cost. But by water intrusion, I mean water coming in maybe around windows, on walls, in the ceiling, and it's not from a pipe leaking. That can be really challenging to figure out where it's coming from. And it's not usually that the actual repair cost is that high, but it's more that many repairs have to be attempted before it's actually diagnosed. Like you could think, oh, it's coming from the roof. You replace the roof, but that doesn't fix it. You know, it can be a really extensive process and frustrating, because every time it rains, they're checking to see if it leaks. And so water intrusion issues are, I think, another red flag. And then the third red flag that I would say to look out for is a home that is being priced as if it is move-in ready. You might walk in, it like is freshly painted, it looks like there's been cosmetic updates, but then you find out that the major systems are old, the roof is old, there's just general lack of maintenance. That to me is a red flag, because assuming you're purchasing a home that is priced to be move-in ready, and I'm not talking about a fixer-upper. If you know you're buying a fixer-upper, that's totally fine. It's going to be expected that there are repairs. But what you want to avoid is a situation where somebody has just done these like basic cosmetic updates. They make it look pretty on the outside, but they haven't really spent the money to actually fix the major systems of the home. That, I think, is another red flag and something to be aware of. So it's really important to get a home inspection when you're buying a house, and we have some recommended home inspectors that are really great. So if you ever need a recommendation, feel free to reach out and try to avoid the lemons that are unfortunately out there in house purchase world.